Hey everybody, it's Cassie. I felt like it was finally time to do a book haul. These are all the books that I got in spring, so there are quite a few of them. I have not been filming any kinds of videos like this for a while because I felt like I didn't have enough to show, which I think a lot of people are having trouble filming because they don't have a lot to talk about or stuff. At least that's what I feel like. But I just thought I would name off all of these books that I got in spring. It's almost summer, so I thought this was the perfect time to finally film a haul. I know some people do these videos at the beginning of spring, but I figured why not do it at the end of spring to talk about everything I've got during those months. I have not counted yet, but at the end of this video, I will to see how many books I have hauled. So the first one I have to show you is Uglies by Scott Westerfield. I found this once before and I did not pick it up because I looked at the reviews and a lot of people did not like this book. But then I saw it again and I was like, well, if I've seen it more than once, for really, really cheap, I might as well get it. And some people have said that they do like this series. Like when YA was starting to come out, this was a book that they read when they were younger. So I am quite curious to how I will feel of it because I am not a teenager anymore. This may be geared more towards those ages than an almost 30-year-old. So, but yeah, I couldn't pass it up since I saw it again. And just FYI, a lot of these books are from the library book sale. There is one at the end of every month, so I acquire a huge portion of my books from the library. I love supporting them and I think it's great that they do these book sales so people can have them at a really cheap price. But let's get into these next set of books. This is a trilogy. These first two books, Frozen and Stolen, I read at the library. And then I have not read this one yet. It was not there when I had gotten these two. But when they were put in the library book sale, of course I had to get them. And I want to read this last one. This series or trilogy is by Melissa De La Cruz and Michael Johnston. I did like these two. And so I'm quite curious to how it's going to wrap up. I remember liking them, but I don't remember much about them. So I may have to do some rereads. This next book is Crescent. I have, I think, the third book right there. This is the second book. So I need to try to find the first book. I really like this. I love the covers of both of those books and they're sci-fi, so right up my alley. This is by Homer Hickam. This is a Helium-3 novel, book 2. She was born to kill, born to die. I'm not going to even look at the synopsis because I don't want to be spoiled by the first book. The next two books are part of a trilogy, and I got these because I thought the covers were very, very pretty. But then I read the reviews, and now I'm not so sure about them. This is the second and the third book. There's Embers and Echoes and Afterglow. Look at these covers. Aren't they gorgeous? Now, if just, you know, the inside is as good as the outside, yeah, but I'm kind of nervous now. I need to not look at Goodreads stuff if I'm looking for books. I need to form my own opinion, like we all should. But, yeah, these are mainly cover buys. They are gorgeous. The next two books are also part of a trilogy. I do not have the first one yet again, but I have seen these over on Reagan's channel. And this is Quintana of Sharin and Froy of the Exiles. I hope I'm saying those right. Books 2 and 3. These are huge books. The font, you know, it's not bad, but yeah, almost 600 pages. So what is it? Finnegan of the Rock is the first book. I ended up finding the first book on ebook, so I do plan on reading that very, very soon. I actually hope to find it in paperback like these, but I couldn't pass them up. Next book is Mortal Danger by Anne Aguirre. Sorry if I did not say that right, but this is another cover by. It's fantasy and horror. I've no idea, but I'm guessing that's blood on the cover. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. So it does not seem like a hard to read book, so maybe I can read this really quick when I do. The next book is a historical fiction, and it is American Lightning, Terror, Mystery, The Birth of Hollywood, and The Crime of the Century. This is by Howard Bloom. I don't normally read books like this, but I do try to pick them up to see if I can. And it sounded interesting, and it looks like a quick read, so I hope it's good. If you've read anything by Howard Bloom, let me know. If you've read this, let me know. The next book I have is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I got this book because I've read it already, and I've watched the movie, and the book is so much better. So if you've seen the movie and not read the book, just ignore the movie and go read this. I thought it was really good, and I do hope to reread it and see how I feel about it compared to when I first read it. The next book I have, and then I have kind of already started, is Girl on a Wire, and it is by Gwenda Bond. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but I absolutely love this cover. This was another cover by, and I did not notice when I first bought it, but these are eyes looking through the curtains and watching this, and this is a fantasy book. It is about two families who are rivals, and they have to work together in this circus/carnival setting. And she is a young girl who is a tightrope walker, and I guess her family is accused of witchcraft, and for one of their ancestors murdering or causing the death of the other's family ancestor long ago. So there is a feud, a rival going on between the two families, and they have to work together in this circus. Next book I have here is Skin by Ted Dekker. I read one of his books and really liked it, so I'm quite curious to get into more of his books. He is a master of suspense, I guess. That's what the library journal says. This is a suspense thriller mystery book. Find the victim or the killer. Know nothing about this, but just because it was Ted Dekker, I grabbed it from my mom. She had it. Next book that I have already read and love so much, and that is Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. I love this book so much more than the second book, and I think a little bit more than the first book, but this first book will always have a place in my heart because I love the gruesomeness of it, the deaths and the bodies, and how she has to, like, you know, cut stuff open and find clues and stuff. It is very fascinating, and I don't know what that says about me, but but I love it, and it continues on in this book. And it has a love triangle, so for those who do not love triangles, you may not like this book, but I love triangles. It is my guilty pleasure, and that's what I think I like about this book. Okay, the next book I have here is a book that I won in a giveaway, and I thank the author so much for doing the giveaway and having, I feel so bad, but I can't remember who was helping him do the giveaway. But I got this book, The School for Good and Evil by Saman Chinani, and oh my gosh, I have read the first 4 books. I need to continue on with the series. This is I think a middle grade series, so it's more for younger, but I love it. It is so good. I read them all on ebook, so it just brings me great joy to finally have a copy of my own instead of a library ebook copy. But I love the artwork in it. I love that I can go through it and actually see the pictures, and I may have to do a reread soon and see if I still like this. I know I liked all the books that I read, but will I like the first one? This next book I have read and loved, and this is Pulse by Patrick Carman. And it is very, very good. It is compelling and original with pulse-pounding action and a poignant love story. I cannot say that word right. I don't think I did say it right. This is a sci-fi novel. Everyone has a heartbeat, few have the pulse. So it's like you can have telekinesis? Is that what it's called? Am I saying it right? Those that have the pulse have that type of ability, and you can sense the other people that have that. It like gives off a wave, like a pulse. So I read this, I enjoyed it. I think I read it in a day. Very good book, and I recommend it if you want a very easy read. This is the second book in a series. I've not read the first, but I have watched the movie, and I would absolutely love to read the first. But I think I was very hesitant about getting this because I think I've heard that this book is not as good as the first one. This is Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns by Lauren Weisberger. Sorry. But I got it because of me watching the movie The Devil Wears Prada, and I really enjoyed it. So I think I really need to find the book and then pick this one up and see what I think of it. If you prefer the first one over the second one, let me know. This is another second book to a series duology. I have no idea. This was just a cover by because it looked good, and then I realized it was a sequel. This is Born of Deception by Terry Brown. The first one is Born of Illusion. I don't want to read the synopsis because, you know, it's a sequel. Do you ever read the synopsis to sequels before you even have read the first book? But I hope this is good. Let me know if I should try to find the first book and if it's even worth it, or should I just, you know, pass it on. Next book I have is a first book of a series, and it's Indelible. Probably saying that wrong. The Twixt, book 1 by Dawn McClaff. Oh my gosh, I am horrible at saying names. Some things are permanent, indelible, and they cannot be changed back. Joy Malone learns this the night she sees a stranger with all black eyes across the crowded room, right before the mysterious mystery boy tries to cut out her eye. Ew. I'm quite intrigued. When I read the synopsis at the book sale, the first thing that I saw was an all black eyes, the stranger with all black eyes, and I immediately thought of Supernatural and how their eyes change to black, and that's immediately what came to mind when I saw this. So is it demons? Let's see. Swept into a world of monsters, illusion, immortal honor, and revenge, Joy discovers that sometimes there are no mistakes. Somewhere between reality and myth lies the Twixt. Interesting. I have another sequel here to show you. I have a problem with getting sequels, apparently. I never find the first book. And if I do find the first book, it's only it and not the rest of the series. So, I have The Tattooed Heart by Michael Grant. This has been blurbed by R.L. Stine. Be Afraid. It's fright fiction at its best. A messenger of fear novel. So I need to find the first book so I can read this book so I can get scared. A palpitating horror fantasy mashup with a genius twist that blew my mind. I couldn't stop reading by Lisa McMahon. So, I need to find the first book. I think. Yes, Messenger of Fear is the first book. But look at this cover. Oh my gosh, I am in love with it. It is beautiful. Possibly another cover by. I love the font. Seriously, people, y'all with these gorgeous covers are just blowing it out of the water. I love it. So, if you've read this series or have read anything by him, let me know, and I hope to find the first book soon. This author is someone I am trying to collect the books of because I want to read her books in order. This is The Taming of the Queen by Philippa Gregory. I know nothing about it, which queen it is, but I grabbed it because I saw the name. I have like 3 other books of hers that are in no order and are several books apart from each other. So as I see these, I'm trying to pick them up. All right, so I do have a first book in a series here. This is called Ash by Shani Petroff and Darcy Manley. Another cover by, very simple. I love the flower. I love how the petals are falling down. Some kind of fantasy thing going on about Amendments 44. Those who refuse or otherwise fail to accept and follow those destinies ascribed to them by the Department of Specialization may be prosecuted and if found guilty, fined, or imprisoned as the Ministry of Seven shall dictate. Fast-paced. A thriller. Perfect for fans of Divergent and The Hunger Games, so a dystopian novel. I do like dystopians. They're not common, very common anymore, and a lot of people hate on dystopia worlds, it seems like now, but I still enjoy them, and I like to read them every now and then. Alright, so the next books here I have are part of a series. I think there is a 3rd book to this series, and these books are by Libba Bray, A Great and Terrible Beauty, and Rebel Angels. I want to get into her works. I think this is her first writings that she has published. I want to see if I like her writing style. These seem to not get enough hype as her other books. I do see people haul these, but I don't hear anything about them. I don't know if it's because they're older, but I do like this cover, and I got this once before from the library, but I never read it. So I'm glad it was on sale, and I'm glad to have these in my collection. I have a short story collection, and that is Scary Stories 3 More Tales to Chill Your Bones. These books I read when I was in elementary school, and I loved weird, scary stuff, and these books freaked me out, but I couldn't get enough of them. I loved them so much, and I actually got the edition that is coming out into movies. It has Harold in it, this scarecrow looking guy. So as I was reading this and I found that out, I was actually very happy that I got this edition because it has the movie edition thingy to it. So I do want to see that movie. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see it too. The next book I have here is more of a type of dictionary collection of things for the Harry Potter world. Muggles and Magic, J.K. Rowling, and the Harry Potter phenomenon. There's everything to know about each of the books, how she came to write them. It has some of the pictures in it from where she was writing them, where she was going to sign books. It has all of the the dictionary stuff in it. It has the anthology of 18th century charms, anti-cheating charms. It explains everything in here, and I think that is so cool, and I'm glad to add this to my Harry Potter collection. The next book I have is Eve and Adam by Michael Grant. Oh hey, best-selling of the Gone series, cool. And Catherine Applegate. This book is about, instead of Adam and Eve, you know, Eve coming from Adam, I think it's Adam coming from Eve. I'm not entirely sure, but it's about a girl who gets in an accident and a boy, frees her from the hospital to go to a biopharmaceutical plant where her mother works. I don't know. This is in my June TBR, so I will find more about it when I read it. The next book here is The Six by Mark Alpert. It is a sci-fi novel about 6 kids, 6 people, no, 6 teens. 6 teenagers will become pioneers. They will exchange their bodies for machines. So they're going to be Cybermen. Cool. Cool. R.L. Stine blurbed this too. Michael Grant blurbed this. So, yeah. It looks like a Cyberman. I'm too into Doctor Who. The next two books here are part of a series or a trilogy, and I think it is the second and the third book. The first book is The Hunt. This one is The Prey, and this one is The Trap. So, I have no idea what these are about, but it's by Andrew, oh gosh, Fukuda? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names. I'm so bad at pronouncing stuff. So, just get all that out now, even though it's the end of the video, almost. So the Hunt trilogy. I just saw this because it was part of a series. Did not know what it was about, even though it did not have the first book. Brilliant and addictive. Think of the Hunger Games with vampires. Vampires, even better. So, if you've read these books, please let me know. And is it worth me trying to find the first book? Another book I have is the second book in a trilogy series. I have no idea, but this is the Dickens Mirror by Elsa J. Bick. I've read her Ashes trilogy and loved the first book. The second book was okay, the third book was terrible. I loved the first book. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm not even going to think of the last two books, but the first book was so good, so good. So once I saw her name, I had to pick this up. If you've read anything by her, if you have read this series or the first book, the second book, possibly third and fourth, I don't know. If you've read this book, the series, please let me know. And is it worth finding the first book to continue on with this? Because it is a very big book, and I don't know if I should do it. Start it. The next book I have here is Murder on the Orient Express. It does not have a cover thing except for the spine. This is by Agatha Christie, and I think this book was published in 1960. Yes, 1960. Someone had wrote into it that they got it in 75, which I think is cool. It has the deckled edges, which is neat, but hard to turn the pages, but I still love it anyways. It has the old book smell, which I really like. I'm glad I found this kind of edition. Even I like the hardback. So I think I may put this in my June TBR. I've already had it made, so this will have to go into it because I love Agatha Christie and her books. Okay, one more book to show you. I am beyond happy that I have this book, and I thank Lacey for this book. It is Finale by Stephanie Garber, and it is gorgeous. I want to read it right now, but I'm going to hold off until July. That's when she's going to read it, so that's when I'm going to read it. I also have my TBR set for June, so I am hoping things will go the way I want them to go. The second book was left off on a huge cliffhanger, and I'm quite curious to see what's going to happen. I thankfully have not been spoiled by any fan art, any memes, any... Is it a meme? Is that how you say that word? I don't know. But anything, I have not been spoiled. I have not seen any kind of reviews for this trilogy at all, which I think someone should do. I think that would be a great idea to talk about the whole trilogy. I would, but I'm not very good at explaining stuff. So I'm so happy to have this. It is gorgeous, and I'm so glad I have all three books now. She also sent me the book plate, which took so long to get here, but I have that to go along with it. And oh my gosh, I can't contain my joy. Thank you, Lacey. And I hope you all enjoyed this book haul. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments which ones do you think I will like, which ones did you like, which ones did you not like, because that's important too. I love controversial things. Gets everybody talking, and I think that's great. 35 books. Awesome. I think at one library book sale, I got like 24 books in one go. So if you have a library, go support them. go to their library book sales, check out a book every once in a while. You don't have to do it every, you know, every week or all the time. Just go and support them as much as you can. I love using our local library. I have not been there to check anything out for a while because I've been focusing on all these. But I did see a few books last time as I was there that I hope to maybe check out sometime this year. If not, maybe next year. Yeah, those are the books that I got in spring. Wow. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching this. I hope you had a great spring, and I hope you have a great summer, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye!